Hey guys, it's the Love Guru from loveguru.net, and you're getting me fresh out of my bed, which I know that it is obvious that I'm fresh out of the bed. It's not even 6 o'clock. I'm still a little tired and I need to meditate, but I wanted to make a video before I did that because I was thinking about it when I woke up. And this has to do with being stuck in your love life. And this really can relate to anywhere in your life, okay? But we all go through periods that we get stuck in our lives. So, for example, like you might be hung up on a guy or a girl for some time, a long time, whether you're, so maybe that's someone that you're just like interested in getting in a relationship with, or someone that you like were dating for a little bit, or maybe you're in a relationship with somebody and it's not going so well and you're in this phase that you're like hung up on them. And then therefore you become stuck in your life. And again, I'm not going to go into the other areas, but I mean, I've definitely had this, that I've been stuck in other areas of my life for quite some time. Like I look back on it and it's like, oh, okay, I liked that. You know, I was like in a relationship with the guy who I ended up marrying briefly, and I was hung up on him and also processing stuff about our relationship for, I don't know, maybe 4 years, 5 years, maybe longer. I don't remember now. I mean, I ended up writing a book out of it. I'm going to still work on that. So that's going to be coming out. That's my marriage book. So obviously there was like a bigger picture here for me, but I was hung up over that relationship for many years. And then I got into situations with family members. I was healing my childhood wounds, and I was dealing with family drama for probably close to 10 years. It wasn't consistent, but it was like the last round of it was 4 years that I was stuck in that cycle. And I want to talk to you about that because I do have people that come to me that are in this cycle of being stuck in their love life. And, I recently had a client that came that was interested in this girl and has been interested in this girl for close to a year, and nothing was moving forward in that relationship. So here, this person is in their 30s. It's prime years where people, I would say, normally, I'll kind of use that kind of questionably, but let's say normally will pair up and find their partner, their life partner, get married. Again, it's not like we all have to do things the same way. Everyone has their own timeline. But, typically people in their 20s and 30s is when people couple up. And if you want to have a family, that's typically when that happens. And if you are in a period that you're stuck, think about your love life right now. I mean, whether you're single in a relationship, and who were those people that you were stuck on for many months or years, and how long has that been? I mean, I can think about the first guy that I was really interested in. This was back in college, and I remember that it was the first soulmate that I ever met. This was even before I knew, it was before I was the love guru, but this was the path that Spirit was helping carve out for me. But I remember I met this guy. There was this magical connection between us. We had really uncanny things in common. And I thought that he was the one. I thought I was going to be getting married. That's how I was programmed and brainwashed to believe that you find the one in college, let's say, and you get married. And I thought that was the path I was going on. And then when it didn't work out, it was a very short relationship. But when it didn't work out, I remember I came home that summer. And again, you're very young. So I was moping around all summer. I remember like my family, they didn't know how to deal with me, which has always been the case. But I just remember being really accentuated back then. Like I just remember being able to read my mom's mind and being like, I don't know what to do about Blaire, because I was so upset that whole summer. I was moping around. I remember I was crying to God, like, why would you, I remember this thought process. I was like, why would you bring this guy who was so perfect into my life and then for it to not work out? And it's like, I don't want to be here. Like, I literally wanted to die, which is weird. Like, that's weird thinking, but that's what people go through in their relationships, right? Have you experienced that? And I was like, I want to die. Like, if I can't be with this guy, like, I know it's so perfect. And if I can't be with him, I don't want to be here. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I was in so much emotional pain. And I just remember I used to just hang out outside. Like, there's this cemetery. It sounds weird. There's a cemetery where I grew up, and I used to hang. It was more like a park environment. There was no like tombstones. It was very like nice, like sort of upscale cemetery, and I used to hang out there a lot. It was very much like a park. It was just open land and lots of nice trees. And I remember I used to just lay down on the ground, not by where any of the dead people were. There's plenty of empty space, but I just used to lie down on the ground and just cry and ask God to just take me. And I haven't thought about that story in a really long time until this new client came into my life, because so anyway, my point is like, I was hung up on that guy for close to a year, I guess. I mean, maybe it was 6 months, 7 months, 8 months or whatever, but that is way too long. And the experience, like, again, I want you to take this and track your love life, track your relationships and how you've felt with them and how long you have got into these patterns of being stuck. And, even if you're processing things from that, but like, how long are you waiting for somebody to like you? Or how long are you waiting for someone to change their mind about you? Or how long are you waiting for someone to fall in love with you? How long are you waiting for a relationship to work out between you and a person? And I feel more comfortable talking about myself than my clients, because that's, it's anonymous anyway, but I just feel more comfortable using myself as an example. And I know that I have had many experiences over the many years that I have been interested in guys, that I have been hung up and stuck in loops in my relationships, whether I was dating the person or not, in this fantasy about them, or we had some magical interactions, and I was wondering when we were going to go out again. I was wondering when we were going to finally get together, or we hit bumpy roads, and I was wondering when things were going to work out between us, when when the guy and I were going to get back together. And there's a lot of different things going on here, because if you're a sensitive person like me, and if you're intuitive like me, or even if you kind of wouldn't call yourself an intuitive or a psychic, but you just kind of feel this deeper connection with someone, and you know that it's like meant to work out, or you don't understand why it's not working out. Well, those are all signs of like your psychic gifts popping up, poking out. Being intuitive. We're all intuitive. It's just a matter if you're developing that gift or not. And the way I always share this, the way that my gifts came out full force was not through psychic development classes. It was through healing myself. That's how I became psychic, because you clear all this like clutter that is jamming up your system. And then you have this clear channel to spirit, to God, to the universe, to be able to hear your intuition, to be able to hear your angels and your guides and whoever else that you want to communicate with talk to you. There's different psychic gifts. You could hear them. I hear my angels and my guides. I know things. It's claircognizant. Clairvoyant is seeing things. That's very strong for me too. All my psychic gifts are open. And that is just from healing myself. That's why I talk about healing yourself all the time. And when I'm talking about healing yourself, I'm talking about healing childhood wounds. That's like sort of a bigger conversation, but that is my method of how I work with people amongst all the other tools that I use. I've been on this healing journey for over 20 years, and I've been working as a professional intuitive. One of my official titles is intuitive heart healer. So I'm able to open and heal people's hearts. And I've been doing that for almost 20 years now. So it's been a long time that I've been on this journey. I've had lots of experiences with my own love life and then in working with people. So, let's get back to this whole loop. By now, hopefully you've made a list. You've thought about some guys or girls that you've been hung up on and that you've really liked, that you thought was going to work out. And how long have you wasted in that loop? I'm calling it a loop. It is a time loop. You get stuck in this other dimension with them of this fantasy world that things are going to work out. So anyway, I recently had this client come to me that was in a situation like this that was just stuck. Now, the worst place where you can be in your love life or any area of your life is stuck. Now, it all serves a purpose because it teaches you down the line what not to do. Like you learn how to get out of those situations faster. But one of the reasons why people come to me is to get the tools to move through these lessons faster, to move through these periods that you are feeling stuck faster. Now, I want to talk about the way I charge, what I charge, what I charge, what I charge. Is this little tongue twisters? So a session with me is $1,200. This is for a 50, 60 minute session. It is for an initial consult. So it is just the first time meeting with me, and things might change by the time you watch this video. But as of right now, this is how it works. So it's $1,200 to come see me either through the phone or in person in New York City, or I meet with people in New Jersey and Ridgewood, New Jersey. So that's the rate. And yes, I work with a high-end clientele. And yes, also everyday people come work with me also. So I want to just talk about the reason why I charge this rate. And I'm not doing it to defend myself because I don't believe in that. I used to do that a lot, explain myself a lot, and I don't believe in that philosophy anymore. I've healed that, but I do want to explain to you as far as this is an example where people will come to me and they will be stuck for a period of time in their love life. And I save my clients anywhere from 5 to 10 plus years of these unhealthy patterns of being stuck for 10 years. So that might sound a little bit extreme to you. It might sound a little bit on the low end. Basically, you have these patterns that you have been doing your whole life. Like I had shared, and I'm going to go back to this example with this guy because this is just one of the many times that I've helped people with this. But if I go back over my life, I have had one relationship after the next where I have been in this stuck loop, that I have been waiting for the time to hear from the guy again, waiting for the time that he was going to change his mind. So they're saying to me, my guides I'm talking to, or they're talking to me, I guess, although they're listening to me. They're monitoring this conversation. So, as they always do, and I love you guys for doing that. So, I shared the example with my college situation. And this is just one situation I remember. I don't know if I was hung up on somebody else. I'm sure that I must have been. Oh, they actually just did remind me of somebody else that I was hung up with too for several months. So when I got out of this situation, if we fast forward a few years later or a couple years later, there was another guy who was another soulmate that came into my life that was absolutely, I thought, perfect. Again, we had all these magical things in common. And then, so we were in a relationship and it didn't work out. And I remember that when he broke up with me, I was in this state of, it's denial. We're just going to call it what it is. That I remember, this was during a period of time that I was back living with my parents again. I've had several experiences moving back with my parents, which is another story. It's in one of my books. It's about family healing and clearing triggers and all of this stuff, which I didn't know I was doing back then. But so this was right when I was out of college and I was living back with my parents. And I remember coming home from that date where this guy broke up with me. And I said, oh, I'm not upset about it because we're going to get back together. And I think my mom was just like, okay. And I don't know, whatever that interaction was. And I think she just let me be. But this opened the door for then several months of me watching for signs from the universe. I would always get signs that we were getting back together. I was getting signs about him. And again, it was another one of these loops where I was stuck on this guy. And this pattern continues for years throughout my life. And this is a very typical, it's not like I'm some pathetic girl. This is very typical of, or that you're some pathetic girl or guy. This is very typical of the way that humans operate. And this is very typical on how our society encourages us to be. And it's in this state of, we see these romantic movies and these TV shows where the guy or the girl is hung up on somebody else, this romantic partner, and they daydream about this person, and they dream and they wish that they're going to get back together or that they are going to get together, and time goes by. Now, I know this might be like sort of an old person thing to say, but we are on this earth for a really short time. Well, actually, I won't say we're on this earth for a really short time. We're on this earth for a select period of time. And you want to, I won't say you want to, I want to, okay? I want to maximize my time here. I have this thing going within me. I've had it since I was young, that I know I'm here for something special. I know I'm here for a mission. That's what that realization came into later on, as more awareness came in. I know I'm here for a mission in this world. I don't want to waste time. There's this internal urgency within me that I need to get going. I need to do stuff. I need to move through the lessons that I have and progress on my spiritual path so I can be doing what I'm here to be doing, and connecting and affecting all the people that infecting sounds not good. I said effecting, not infecting. So there's people and places and things that I need to do to reach the amount of people that I need to in this lifetime. There's this internal motivating factor. And maybe you have this too. And if you do, that's awesome. And that means that it's even more important that you hop on this and you don't get stuck in cycles. Because again, if I look over my life, I have been stuck in cycles where I have been unhappy where I live. I have been stuck in cycles where I was stuck with my career, where I was stuck with my finances, where I was stuck with my health. So this is a pattern that affects every area of your life. You think that this affects just your love life. Oh, I'm just hung up on a guy or a girl right now, or I'm waiting for my relationship to get better. And you spend months, and really it's years. You spend years in that relationship, or years pining about a relationship with that person. And what that is doing is just keeping you stuck. It is keeping you in a loop, and it's not advancing you. Now, again, there's lessons all here, but as I look back over my life, and I have learned a lot of these lessons, what I have learned, I'm just condensing it for you, okay? Here's like the Cliff Notes thing. I have learned to fucking move on, and I have learned how to move on, Because that's the issue is, one, we see in these movies, these people hung up. We think that this is a normal operating system. It's not. That's not normal. That sort of falls into the area of codependency. It falls into the area of addiction. It falls into the area of obsession. It falls into a lot of gray area and a lot of dark energy. And that's just the truth of it. I know that sometimes scares people when you're like, oh, you're dealing with dark energy. You are dealing with dark energy when you're in a loop with someone, when you're hung up with somebody. So this person recently came to me, this guy recently came to me, hung up on a girl for close to a year. And in one session, I was able to share with him what his guides wanted him to hear, what spirit wanted him to hear, which is just, spirit is the term that encompasses all for me. It's not a Christian term. I'm not Christian. I'm Jewish. I was raised Jewish, although I don't really practice anything, but I would like to get back into the Jewish holidays and traditions. But that's just a little side note about me. I practice spirituality. And really, I don't think I practice anything. I just talk to my spirit family, which is my angels and guides and ascended masters and archangels and ancestors and fairies and star family and other high vibrational galactic beings. Like, I connect with all high vibrational beings, and I just live my life like that, in communication with them and working through whatever lessons that I need to learn through. And I just go to higher levels. I just keep upgrading my system. I love learning, and I love going to higher levels of consciousness. And really, to me, it's just higher levels of mastery. And then I end up reaching higher levels of happiness, of peace, of success, and of power in my life. And those things are very sexy for me. Having more power is very sexy. I talk about that in my other video, what true power really is. I think I actually have videos about that on my website at loveguru.net. But I want to get back here to, so this guy came to see me, and it wasn't like, how can I get over this person? It was like, how can I get this person? How can I get them to like me? How can I get them to go out with me? How can I get them to fall in love with me? And all of these things. And there's more to the story. I'm not going into it. But this session, after we had the session, I share the messages that spirit wants to come through. Sometimes it's very strong the way that it comes through. I'm a straight shooter. My messages are very direct. They are to shake you up and to bring you out of whatever denial patterns that you have. That has been a huge thing that has, like I shared, that's been a huge thing that's gone on with my life, that you feel denial when you're just so overwhelmed with whatever's going on in your life that you seriously do not have the tools how to handle it. You don't know what to move forward. Like, you want to move forward, but you literally have no idea how to move forward. So people come to me when they want to learn how to move forward and when they want to move forward. So that's the thing. You are stepping into the space of mastery. I'm giving you the tools and the techniques on how to move forward. And in sessions, you might not hear all the time things that you want to hear, but it's what your soul needs you to hear. And it's solid tools that empower you. So that's that whole putting you into power. It's about putting you into power. That's at the core of my teachings, is how to be put into your power. And that is the experience that I've had throughout my life, so many times and years through my life, and in all different areas of my life. I list them out to you: in my career, in my love life, in my finances, in my home life. I have not been in my power, in my health. And it is the worst feeling, to feel like a victim, to feel disempowered, and it sucks. You don't like it, and it's a loop. It's an unhealthy loop. And people come to me when they're ready to get out of the loop. People go to therapy when they're still in that victim loop, when they need to talk about things. And there's benefit to therapy. If you need to talk about things, if you need to hear yourself speak, if you need to just have a sounding board, because most therapists are not, so I'm trained as a marriage and family therapist. I don't practice therapy. It's way too passive for me. And whenever I was trying to do therapy, spirit, so like my guides and their guides were always chiming in of like, do this, do this, do this. So like, I can't even do therapy if I try to do therapy. And I literally don't have the patience to hear somebody complain for an hour. It is so fucking draining to me because I am an empath, which is a psychic gift that you feel things. And I take on people's shit and it just doesn't work well for me. At all. I need to protect my energy and the level that I'm at because I've worked really hard to get here. And then once you get to a high level, you protect your energy much better because you've learned those tools. So, people come to the sessions with me when they are ready to listen, take notes. I don't need to hear your whole story because that information gets downloaded into me. And I understand what's going on. And then, like I said, the guide starts speaking to me, my guides, your guides, of like what you need to do. So you're getting exercises right off the bat of like what you need to do to move forward because you're stuck in a loop. You know, people come to me with problems and then I help you fix your problems. I tell you how to do it. And then while you're in sessions, you get activated, you get activations, and you get initiations to a new way of being. You get activated into new parts of yourself. And this is all sort of psychic talk, and you don't need to, I have information of what activations are and initiations on my website. And you don't need to even understand what that is, but things are being activated with you. There's a lot of things going on besides the surface level thing that you see of us talking. There's a lot of energetic and healing work that I am doing and spirit is doing on you when you are there with me, whether on the phone or in person, that is shifting you. So again, I want to talk about the rate that I charge, which is $1,200. So number one, this is a rate that spirit has told me to charge. And I was charging this several years ago, and then my human self came into play and I got affected by what other people were saying to me about that rate, and I lowered the rate, and I wasn't able to manifest at my full potential and be in my full power because I was listening to guidance outside of me. I wasn't listening to guidance. I was just being affected by guidance outside of me, and the small Blaire was taking over and fucking with my head, because that's like another pattern that I like would doubt myself. So, and those are all childhood wounds, which again, I help you heal through because this is stuff that I've worked through myself. So anyway, why do I charge that rate? And again, not to defend myself, because it doesn't matter whether you have a session with me or not, or what you think about my rates or what. But this person left this session and had said to me, and I knew he was very upset after the session because he didn't get what he thought that he wanted, which was a continuation of this obsession, which spirit just could not have it anymore because it's delaying his mission. It's delaying him moving on and finding a girl that loves him and is crazy about him. And he has not been getting the lessons that spirit wanted him to get of how to move forward, of how to stop that loop, this unhealthy codependent loop. So again, you're learning how to break out of unhealthy relationship patterns. Now, if this guy had continued along his way, because when people come to me, it's because spirit brings you to me. That's how it happens every time. People either feel that they know that they have to speak to me, they know that I have the answers to their problems, or just something in them is, again, just pushing them, like they're watching my videos or they're just kind of hanging around. I used to hear this all the time, like when I had a blog, like, so when I post on Facebook, my videos, like people are just hanging around, and you have to ask yourself, like, why are you hanging around? It's because something within you is pushing you to get this healing medicine that I am offering, this guidance that I am offering. There's something more here for you. So people come to me because they're like, I know I needed to speak to you. I know I had to have a session. And sometimes it takes them a little while to depend on that, to decide that. But a lot of times people just like see my stuff and then they're like, I need to have a session with you. I need to start working with you. And So this person came to me and basically with the one session, just the one session so far, has broken out of that loop. And the person has said to me, you know what? I was upset for several days after the session. And I was like, I told you that was going to happen. I am an emotional healer. So an intuitive heart healer is a form of emotional healing. And I am able to help you connect with your emotions again. A lot of people in our society are not truly connected with your emotions. Even if you think you're an emotional person, you are 100% probably, most likely, suppressing your emotions. We just learn to do that because our society does not support really emotional people. We look at them as crazy, as off the hinge, as uncontrollable, as wild. And a lot of messages that we get when we're young, again, these are childhood wounds of sort of man up, even if you're a woman. I used to hear all the time, you're too sensitive, you're too emotional. And that was always looked at as a bad thing, which it's not a bad thing because that's what is the connection to your intuition. So the process is all unlearning this. And this is the process that I take my clients through. So whenever people come to sessions, sometimes I have to tell people a million times because I feel like I know it's not getting into them. So it's you're going to have, most likely, you're going to have emotions that come up after this session. And you may feel upset, you may cry, you may get angry, you may feel wonderful. And whatever it is, you need to take care of yourself after the session. This is when you become your own parent. And you have to really learn how to nurture yourself because that's another thing. Most people don't know how to nurture themselves and to care for themselves because even if you had a great upbringing, most of the time parents have not really been there emotionally for their kids because they're not there emotionally for themselves. And this is a pattern that has been passed down from one generation to the next. So people don't know how to care for themselves and they don't know how to feel their emotions or take care of the emotions. A lot of people are very logical thinkers. That is appreciated. A lot of people are logical thinkers and deep thinkers and heavy thinkers. And I happen to get all those people because that was my journey. That has been my journey to analyze and to overanalyze and to analyze again. And that is what is, again, another childhood wound. That is what is loved and appreciated by our parents, to get good grades, to go to good college, to get a good job, to follow that step-by-step logical way of being, of operating in the world. And that is how we're told to operate. So basically people are walking around with a huge left brain that is very logical and reasoning and step by step and explain it to me and how does this work, and I'm only going to pay attention to surface level things that I see with my eyes. And then your right brain is very small and not developed, which is your whole intuitive side, which is the whole connection to the universe and and the magic that you hold. And that's what I help connect people with, balancing it out. It's not that you're fully on the right side now. It's that you're balancing it out so that you are able to use your left and right brain in concert, in connection together, rather than be so obsessive and so sort of anal. And I'm sorry to say that, but I'm also calling myself that because, again, that was my path of this doesn't make sense and makes sense to me, and let me analyze and let me run everything. Let me ignore my intuition. Let me analyze everything to fucking death and doubt myself. And oh my God, that's such a fucking vicious cycle, and that can last your whole lifetime. So when I say that I break people out of patterns that last 10 plus years, it's really their whole lives. I break you out of patterns that you have had your whole lives, and I teach you a new way of being in the world, and you're getting tools. So this guy came in He got the shakeup that he needed, the awareness that he needed. He got the activations that he needed to step out of being stuck in this loop, hung up on this girl for close to a year. Being stuck. Now, he went through the sadness. He went through a mourning, and then he said to me, you know what? I'm going to be open to dating new girls. Good. Very good. Bravo. Brava. Right? Bravo. That's what Spirit wanted you to learn, to stop that. Because if he had not come to see me, he would have been still stuck in this loop for several years. For several years. So again, I want you to think about your patterns. Hopefully you did that exercise, or at least did a quick scan of your life. Where have you been stuck? What have you been stuck with in your life? With finances? How long have you not been making the money that you know that you can make, that you want to make, that you feel in your heart and your soul? How long has it been? How long has it been that you've been in a job that you're not so crazy about? Or a career that you're not so crazy about? Or how long have you been not able to get your business up and running? How long have you been stuck in a loop that you're unhappy with your health, that you can't figure out your health, you can't get on track to being empowered to get out of that loop? How long have you been in a loop with your relationship, whether you're married or just dating somebody? How long have you been unhappy in that relationship, or not as happy as you think that you should be? How long has it been that you've been in that loop? How long has it been that you've been single and in that loop of not being able to get into a long-term relationship or to get married, which is maybe what you want? That's what I help people do. I help people attract the one, attract their life partner, and get married. How long has it been that you've been obsessing over a guy or a girl that you're attracted to, but nothing's happening in the physical? How long have you been in that loop? So I can speak about these things because I've fucking experienced all those things. I'm cleaning up the mess now. With my home, like for example, my home, like I'm living somewhere that I'm not crazy about where I've been living. It's fine now because I am working out of it. I'm actually in the process of moving. My place is like empty now. I'm taking my rebounder with me because I love that thing. But everything else is sold off. I have like a few more items because I'm moving. I'm closing out these cycles. And how long has it taken me to learn this I'm unhappy with where I'm living thing? Well, it was 4 years here and then 4 years there and then however many years there. This has been a long pattern in my life. That's why I say, like, you have these patterns that are recurring. It's not like this just, I'm just in one relationship right now and it's not going so well and I'm upset in this relationship and this is the first time I've ever experienced this. Hell no. If you're able to take the blinders off and to do a review, here's an exercise for you, which I've already shared a few times. So Spirit's like, hello, do this exercise just so you recognize the impact. This is not a one-time thing. This is a lifetime thing. What other experiences have you had in your love life that you've been stuck in these loops? So that's why I charge what I charge, because yes, people can come to me for one session to clear up shit. It's not guaranteed. I'm not guaranteeing it for you. This is what you do with the information. Spirit shares the information with you, and then you have work to do. You have exercises to do. And yeah, you're going to get shaken up just by the information I share with you, the healing I share with you, because I am sharing healing with you right now when I'm speaking. Just by being here, there are activations and initiations coming through. Can you feel them? It doesn't matter if you do or don't, they still happen. So there's a shifting from your soul level. And then the next step is like, what are you doing with that information? And what are you doing with the exercises? Are you moving forward with that? you're going to be impacted anyway. It's going to shake you up anyway. It's going to change your life anyway. It's just how into it you are. And also, we have free will. And if we don't want to hear certain information that's coming through, we could shut it down. So I knew on a certain level I was not supposed, that the relationship wasn't good with the guy who I got married with. I knew on a certain level I shouldn't have married him. But I did. I shut down the information. I shut it down. That's the denial pattern. I shut it down because I knew I was not going to be able to move on unless I married him. And I know that that sounds sort of like maybe fucked up, but this was a guy who was living in England. We were going back and forth, a long distance relationship, spending months on end with one another. But I needed to have this relationship play out because we were having really good times and we were having really bad times, and I needed to know what the fuck was going on because it seriously felt like the Twilight Zone. And I knew that, well, I don't know. I convinced myself, this is the left brain, heavy left brain thinking, because I didn't want to listen to my intuition. That left brain thinking is going to fuck you up. If you haven't noticed it yet, because it already has fucked you up. So I got married to the guy because that was how we were able to initiate the green card situation. And we could have done it before him, but we didn't have the information. So this was already in a loop of a year. I think it was a year. Already in a stuck loop of a year. Now you know how I am in relationships. And this is with romantic relationships. And I'm just talking about in general because this is the impact. This affects every relationship you have in your life, which is so awesome. Because this is even with business relationships and friendships that come into my life, or just everyday people, neighbors, people I meet around town. I am able to suss through someone's personality, if they're a good match for me, friendship, business-wise, love life, within a few weeks. It's not even that. It's such an exaggeration. It's really within a few days. What happened was when this first started really shifting for me, I was able to tell my relationship span was getting shorter and shorter of when I was able to rule someone out. So at first it was like a month because I would still do the left brain dance of let me give them a chance, maybe I'm not seeing them correctly, blah, 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 all that bullshit because again, your left brain fucks you up. So I would give them a month that I would notice things that were off, that didn't feel in resonance with my vibration, and I would just give them a month and then I would rule them out. Then it started getting shorter to just a couple of weeks. Now it is literally a day or two that I am connecting with somebody. So let's say a week, okay? That I can interact with someone, feel their energy and be like, not interested. That is fucking power. So I guess we are talking about power in this video since I talk about it in all my teachings. That is power. To be able to sort through your relationships, whether they're good for you or not, within 1 week, or really 1 or 2 interactions, rather than let's talk about love life again, because that's what people care about. That's what people pay for, right? You put your money down for money help or for love help, right? Or maybe health help, because that's where it hurts, right? That's where it hurts because you care so much about your career and your money and your love life, right? Because a lot of people think, well, what else is there to your life? Well, there's other areas, but okay. So, and that's what's been important to me. Love life and money, career. So, to be able to sort through these patterns, rather than be in loops that you're stuck for years, wasting your years, wasting your energy, wasting time being unhappy in situations for years. What would that be like if you shortened it To be able to get the lessons within, because that's what the core of it is. You get the lessons within a day or two or a week at most. Is that not worth $1,200 or more to you? To me, 100%. 100%. Because you know what? Time is worth money. And if you're going to be hung up and stuck in a relationship for years, if you can just pay $1,200 to get the fuck out of that situation or to fucking fix that situation, wouldn't you want to know how to do that rather than to be in the stuck zone, which is really a loop? It's a time loop that you're just going around in circles. That's like a record on repeat. Boop, 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 boop. Do you want to spend your time doing that? Now with love life, if you are in the prime years of getting married, of having kids, the prime years when a lot of people are single, now there's some false beliefs here, but I'm just sharing them because I know that that's how most of society thinks, that 20s and 30s are your prime years. That's when you have kids, and like that's, but it's a bigger conversation, but we're just going to leave it for that for the moment. So if you're wasting these prime years in these loop cycles, and let me tell you, that's how I spent. I'm going to pause because I was going to just share how old I am. I don't want to share how old I am because I live in a space of timelessness. I live in the now. So I don't want your mind attaching to me how old I am. But let's say I spent 10 years of my life, a decade of my life, in a time loop, being hung up on a love relationship, sorting out, healing through that. I could speed that up for you a huge amount by years, by 5+ years, by 10+ years. I spent 10 years, I'll tell you what I spent 10 years hung up on. A love relationship, healing through that. Healing through family, drama, trauma, chaos, karma. These were all overlapping. They didn't happen consistently through the 10 years. It was like, oh, let's spend some time on this. Let's spend some time on this. Oh, let's go back to this. And then I had health issues, and then it was home issues. There was finance issues. There were career issues. So basically fucking everything. For 10 years, and granted it lasted longer than that, but 10 years that I was like in this crock pot, being boiled, bubbled, refined, turned into the diamond I am now. Can't you tell? Don't I look so sparkly at 6 o'clock in the morning? Which I don't care. This is how I make most of my videos these days because I just don't give a fuck. I don't know if it's, do I not give a fuck? I think I care a little bit because that's left brain thinking too, of like, let me get all dolled up and I should look a certain way to be professional. I feel like you feel my energy, you know my soul, you hear the messages, they speak to your soul or not. I will get dressed up for your session if you come see me in person. It's a different vibe. I'm in New York then. Here I'm rolled out of my bed in my apartment and I don't feel like taking a shower like at this moment. So, and this is being comfortable with being your true self, which is another element that I help you with. Okay. We don't have to look a certain way to be successful or to have an impact in the world. You don't, I mean, maybe it helps, like you dress a certain way. Like I do dress a certain way when I go out. So it helps. But I'm just, the thing is here is that I love working with people over a period of time. And that's where you go through true long-standing transformation. And my programs, my private programs that are personalized to you, that are customized to you, I have an Attract the One Accelerator, which is 4 or 5 months. And that's $20,000 or $25,000 or more if you pay in full. There's installments too. I have a heart healing program that's 3 months. and that is $15,000, and there's installments too. So they're basically both the same rate. If you break it down per month, it's in the $5,000 range per month. So I'd love to work with a lot of you, let's put it that way, on a one-on-one basis for a period of time, because that is how I'm able to hold the space for you, teach you the tools, the step-by-step, if you're learning to attract the one, or even the heart healing program, which is connecting with your true self and healing childhood wounds and whatever issues you have, anywhere that you're blocked. There's always a step-by-step, because that's how spirit, my guides, work. Is that you get one lesson after the next, one session builds on the next, and the healing and the manifestation energy builds up, and then that's how you get what you want. And you get results, you get experiences and success along the way. So it's not like you have to wait till the 3-month mark or the 4-month mark or the 5-month mark. You get it along the way. Just like you see how this guy who just had his first session, well, he's ready to move on. Now I can teach him the lessons and the guidance of how to attract the one, how to attract somebody who would really like him and really connect with him and who's really in alignment with him, and help him with whatever issues that are preventing him from that. Like, he's not meeting enough people. He's not attracting enough people. And it's not about going on more dates. I don't teach that shit, right? That is surface level, left brain, society teaching lessons. That's not from spirit or the universe. It's about just having more options in your life by attracting people naturally to you, dressed like this. Yes, dressed like this. This is actually how I walk around the neighborhood sometimes. Actually, this is like the outfit that I wore yesterday when I went to the supermarket, and actually when I took my dog for a walk, because it just is what it is. And I meet people and I meet men everywhere I go. It doesn't matter the outfit, the mask that you're putting on, because when you step into this realm of working with spirit, you're attracting people on a soul level. You're attracting people who can see your soul and who are magnetically drawn to that. And that's in business relationships, that's in friendships, that's in lovers, that's in a partner, that's in all of that. And that's the power that you have. That's the magic that you have. So that's the deeper level stuff that I am teaching you now. So I am saving you, and I have done this over and over with clients where people get hung up in relationships, and I'm able to help you move forward. So that choice is up to you. So, okay, a couple of things here. Yes, I would love to work with all of you guys one-on-one, but also I just can't. I don't have the bandwidth to work with 1 million people one-on-one. And actually, I guess I don't really have the desire to work with 1 million people one-on-one. I work with a select amount of people at any given time, because I work on other projects, because I do a lot of healing work on myself. This is a daily thing that I am constantly shifting and healing aspects of myself and really upgrading myself, because I want to have a most excellent life, living my full potential and making all of my dreams come true. And that is a lot. There's a lot to my mission. So there's the healing work, the self-development I do for myself. I spend a lot of time with spirit and in silence and in nature. And that is what I really enjoy. That is how I am made up. That's just me. So I need that time as well. And, I'm not meant to be a workhorse. And I actually don't think that anybody is meant to be doing that. But this is about creating a life that I desire, and there's other elements to my life. So then I work on other projects, which I'm writing my books. I have a new book that's coming out, Doing My Life My Way. So there's other projects that I work on also. So there's just not time, energy, or bandwidth, or any of that to be working with, this is not an assembly line. Some people have their healing practice or their coaching practice that they have an assembly line, that they have a million people they work with, that they do the healings or the coaching or whatever, or the therapy every single day. I don't live my life like that. I can't, because I have to be my absolute best. I have my practices that I need to take care of, all my self-care stuff that I do, so that I'm able to be powerful in the world and to help you to be able to have the power to activate and initiate you and to give you the tools. So you have to ask yourself. So, I do enjoy working one-on-one with people. That was what I was saying. I love the intimacy. I love getting to know you. I love the guidance that comes through that's special for you. I love seeing you shift and change. I love praying for you, because that's what I do for my clients on a regular basis. I love getting the reports from you of how things that have shifted, things that have changed, fears that have come up, things that we have to work on, concerns, doubts, resistance coming up for us to heal. I love that transformation, and I love being able to then bring you to this higher level of being, because this is the stuff that I help you with is much more than just transforming your love life. I have this slogan, it's transform your love life, upgrade your life, become a better version of you, you 2.0. And that's not something that I came up with my logical left brain. That's something that Spirit has shared with me, and it just really vibes with me. I love it. And it's true, because this is about upgrading your life. When you finish in your program and you look back over the 3 months, the 4 months, the 5 months we've been together, you've upgraded your life. You have become a better version of you. You have become that 2.0. I am operating at a 2.0 version. I think I actually might be at a 3.0, what has, with my recent changes now. And that's coming through from Spirit. So that's just like a little message for me and a gift. And I love it. I love that. That's such a high you get, a natural high from doing your spiritual growth and your healing. So I love you're bringing people through that transformation, because I've done it for myself over and over again. I've done it with clients over and over again. And I've also just done it with boyfriends. Really, anyone who comes into my life, and business associates, anyone who comes into my life gets upgraded. And that's just the experience of Blaire, right? That's the experience of being in contact with me. So, that's why I'm also very particular about who I surround myself with too, because I want an upgraded experience by being in connection with you. And that is the level that you get to have with your relationships, that you start expecting and requiring and just getting a higher upgraded level of the relationships that you have in your life and the type of experience you have, the life experience you have. So, no, do I want you coming to me for one session? Yes, I do, because I want to help shift you, get unstuck wherever you're stuck, and give you tools. And I'm happy to save you tons of years of your life being stuck and not knowing what to do and going around in circles, or being stuck in therapy or whatever, being unhappy, so yes, I want to help you with that. And that $1,200 is an equal energy exchange at this moment of time for me. And I'll change it as guided by Spirit and as I feel that it's time to upgrade that. But then, moving forward, if it is right for you, and I want to hold your hand and to guide you through that transformation, because I'd love to see you make that transformation. It's exciting. But you have to want it for yourself, and not everybody wants that. And sometimes one session is just enough for somebody until maybe years later, because people stick around and come back to me years later. I've had clients over and over and over again come back to me again. And, maybe they had one session, or they had a few sessions back then, or they've worked with me in a program and they're like, hey, Blaire, I'm ready to get upgraded again. And it's been maybe a 10 or a 12-year time span, that then they come back. And I think that that's awesome. And like I said, people just watch my videos or just hang around for a really long time. I have people following me from like the beginning of my path, when I started calling myself a dating coach. So, I'm happy to assist you wherever you're ready on your path and to take you as far as you want to go. And with me, Spirit is constantly stretching me to this better version of myself. And I like that. That is something that is always appealing to me. And like I said, over the years, I've noticed that not everyone has that growth potential that I do, or those desires, and that's okay also. So I'm happy to help you wherever you are.